Hi, it's Katie with Crafting with Katie. Today I'm going to be making a fun birthday trifold card, and I'm going to be using a cute technique that I saw Jennifer McGuire use in the Summer Card Camp 2 class that I took. She made a trifold card and she mounted it on a base that gave it a little pop of color on the sides. And I thought it was really cute, so I'm going to try it. So I'm going to be using this Blueberry Sky paper tray ink cardstock that's cut at 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then I thought it would be fun to use this birthday style paper tray ink stamp set and use these little, I don't know what they are, bubbles, and use the coordinating ink to pop, give it a little bit of detail along the sides. So that's all we need there. Okay, for my trifold card, I want the word birthday to be hanging off the bottom of it. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this die, it's a paper tray ink Wonderful Words die, and I'm going to take it on the very bottom of my cardstock, but still within it. It's not going to hang off here. I'm just going to center it and then use a little bit of washi tape to adhere it to the cardstock. So just making sure it's lined up evenly. And I can just wrap it around. And then I only want it to cut the bottom half. I don't want the top half cut. So the way I'm going to do that, that's a partial cut, is when I run it through the Vagabond, I'm only going to have the plate cover the half that I want cut. So I'm going to run it through just with the top plate covering that bottom half of the die. So I ran it through, so I'm just going to take off my washi tape. We'll see what we've got here. There you go. So you can see just the bottom half was cut. So the next step is to use an X-Acto knife and a ruler and cut off that extra bottom part, all those little extra little pieces. So I'm going to kind of line this up with my grid on here to help me out, my grid mat. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and use this die to cut out the word again in the Blueberry Sky paper. So the birthday that I cut out will fit perfectly on top there. So now I'm going to need to score this white panel so that it's going to fit on my blue base. Now this paper I cut from some Basil 12 by 12 cardstock. So it was 12 inches by 3 3/4, and that would leave a 1/4 inch on each side here. And the reason that I used the 12-inch cardstock is that I wanted it, when it folds up, to let it overlap a little bit. So if I was just using 8.5 by 11 and I had it all fold up, it wouldn't overlap. First of all, because I cut a little bit off the bottom, if you recall. And then also, even if I hadn't, it would have met exactly. So I had to have it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to get my score pal, and I want the bottom to come up, let's see, maybe about 1.5 inches. Okay. And then the back part, if you recall, this is 5.5 inches, so 1.5 plus 5.5 is 7. So the next score will be at 7 inches. Now I'm not going to actually go ahead and start creasing it yet because I want to be able to decorate this front part first, because I'm going to do some stamping. But at least I have my creases here so I can see where I have to work with. Okay, using the same birthday style stamp set, I'm going to use these little garlands, and I have 3 different colors of ink. I'm using Simply Chartreuse, Harvest Gold, and actually, no, I'm not going to use Enchanted Evening yet. I'm going to use more of the Blueberry Sky. So I have one of the garlands on here already, and I'm just going to ink it up with some Harvest Gold. Oops, Actually, hold on, I'm going to get my craft mat. Okay, so I'm just going to ink this up. And then I'm just going to randomly put some little strands of garland on here. So the next step is the balloons, and I've got some white paper tray cardstock for this just because it's a little bit thicker and I'm going to pop them up. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in the same 3 colors. I learned another trick for using stamps with coordinating dies that helps the stamping come out just perfectly. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm going to try it today. I've always cut the dies first and then stamped. But this trick, you stamp first and then you will see the trick in just a moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all 3 stamps. Okay, now hopefully I have this cut large enough. But basically you need a frame where you already die cut the shape. So I die cut the balloon on this piece of paper here. So this is my little frame. And then I'm just going to cut these apart. You could run it through using these all connected, but my vagabond plates are so have been used so many times that if I run it through multiple times, what happens is if I'm die cutting this balloon, this paper kind of gets all messed up, and you know, like all the little marks that are in the vagabond plate show up in your other pieces of paper, other parts of the paper, if that makes sense, which I don't want. So I'm just going to cut these apart. Hopefully this will work. It was, when the woman did this, it was quite impressive. Okay, so it just involved a little bit of washi tape. And what she did was she put her little frame that she had on top of her, just centered it right where it should go. So it was going to be perfect. And then she put her die inside there. Although the die's a little bigger, so I don't know how that would work. Let's see. Maybe I should do this on the plate. I don't really know if this is going to work, but it's an experiment. If you watch my videos, you know most of what I do kind of is. I'll put one on each side to see. And some of the things I try work and some don't. I just let you guys learn along with me. Okay, so I'm going to run this through and see if it works. All right, we've got the moment of truth here. Let's see how this worked. Not perfectly. Well, that's a bummer. It's really no better than if I had stamped it. Okay, we're going to try this again. That's too bad. I had high hopes. Because I know I have that little, what do you call it? The Stamp-A-Majig. That's kind of a pain too, to be honest. Okay, maybe if I put this on here and tape this first, and then put this on. Oh, that feels more secure. Okay, this might work better. All right, let's try this one. Okay. Better. We're improving. Still a little to the side though. I don't know. I might next time go back to die cutting first and then stamping. Try one last time. at this point I could probably use a new piece of washi tape. Okay, so that one's a little bit better, but I think I'm not sure about the technique. It might take a little bit of practice. All right, so the next step is to get my balloon strings. So I'm just going to kind of lay out how I want the balloons. Maybe something like that. And then the strings, I think they might go like they're tied to the, coming from behind the eye. Okay, so for this we are going to use the Enchanted Evening ink. Alright, so the first thing to do is to fold up, make sure my mat's clean, fold up these parts, okay, and then this is going to get adhered onto here. So I'm going to use my ATG so it's really nice and secure. I'm moving a lot of this. And as I'm putting this down, I can see it's not quite centered, but it's not a big deal. I can always use my paper trimmer and trim off a teeny bit on that side, which I think I'm going to do right now. Okay, so I saw another cool trick. I've taken several card classes this summer, and I keep learning all these really neat tricks, and then I forget where I learned them. But this one was neat. This woman, when she adheres little detailed cuts like this, she uses whatever liquid glue she's using. She puts it on the back, which, you know, is what I usually do too. But then after she finishes, she taps it down onto a piece of scratch paper to get rid of any excess glue. So it kind of squeezes out the edges then, and it doesn't happen on her card, which I thought was so clever. So I'm going to do that here too. So you'll see that in a second. So right here, she kind of did that. And then I'm going to put this, so I don't get it on my mat, I'm going to put it here. Try to get this all lined up. How cute is that? Now, actually, I forgot really the important part here. I need something here that says like happy. Totally forgot that part. So I'm going to take a moment to find the happy sentiment, and I will be right back. Okay, I actually decided instead of putting happy birthday, I decided it'd be cute to put birthday wishes and put wishes down underneath. So I took this Celebrate Good Times from My Creative Time, and I got wishes with the exclamation point there. And I'm going to use the Enchanted Evening ink. going to stamp that. Perfect. Thank goodness, because I do not like to do the stamp the last thing, because what if you mess up after all your work? It would have been a tragedy. Okay, so my last step is to just go ahead and get my balloons on here. So I'm going to use my Tombow stamp runner to adhere my blue balloon, because it is just going to lie flat. It's going to be the one in the back. So we'll just put that one back here. And then I'm going to use some Stampin' Up! Dimensional adhesives to pop up the other two. Alright, there is my card for today. So it is a fun little trifold card. I really like how it turned out. And if you'd like to see any more information and links to the products I use, you can visit my blog, craftingwithkatie.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.